RD8 Dome for the 8th round of the Supercross season. The 250s getting ready to go. You see John Dowd putting his goggles on right there. The fan favorite, of course, his home track, Mike LaRocco, and his dad checking the rear end of the bike, saying, hey, it's okay. We've repaired the entire bike. Not long ago, we visited Mike at his South Bend, Indiana home.
It's not that the Hoosier State's Mike LaRocco doesn't like to have a friendly game of one-on-one once in a while.
He set the pick.
He just always preferred racing.
Nothing but first places in this trophy room.
Well, I guess when you live by yourself, the second thing worked out for me. When I was a kid, I went to the races, and I watched guys like Marty Smith and Bob Hannum back when I was younger, and I know that I wanted to be like them. You know, I idolized them. But, you know, as I grew up and I started racing, and I didn't ever think that, I didn't say that this is what I was going to do. I just started getting better at it, and until I realized that I could win races and I could do it, that's when I set my mind to do it.
A day at Mike LaRocco's summer home in South Bend is anything but a relaxing day off. An early riser, LaRocco has an old high school friend as his personal trainer.
I really didn't even know that he rode or anything like that. He'd come to school a couple days a week, and one day we were sitting in class, and I noticed he had a bunch of calluses and blisters and scrapes all over his hands, and I couldn't imagine what he had gotten into during the weekend. And he told me that he was at a race that weekend riding dirt bikes, and I was just pretty much amazed at that. I really had no idea what he did in his spare time, and not to mention anybody at school, not only a handful of people knows what he does.
LaRocco's regimented workout schedule is broken up with 5 meals a day. Every calorie, carbohydrate, and gram of fat, sodium, and protein is charted to meet specific goals. The final workout of the day takes place on his 40 acres between his house and mechanic Mike LaRocco Sr.'s home. There's both a Supercross and motocross track, including a 125-foot tabletop jump called King Kong. With a home fit for a king and all the amenities championships bring, Mike LaRocco is forever looking to the future.
I don't really think it's ever too young to start having dreams come true.
Unknown to most is Mike LaRocco, the businessman.
And then to Switzerland? You kidding me?
Who also has a talent for design. On the drawing board now is an indoor pool for his home. But don't be mistaken, there are few distractions from the immediate goal of repeating his recent Atlanta victory before his Indiana home folk.
David, it's get nervous time right now. I don't think I've seen Jeremy McGrath so concerned of going into a race.
Well, he expects to win these things, and the past 2 rounds have been a disaster. He crashed in both Atlanta and Daytona, and he's handed the momentum over to the Kawasaki guys. They've won the past 2 rounds.
There's no question the spell that Jeremy McGrath had over this entire field has been broken. He doesn't want the points race to tighten any further. This is a focus for Jeremy McGrath, and McGrath a great start as we watch from the Honda helmet cam. McGrath for a whole shot. LaRocco a good start.
Not a bad start. Rich Taylor providing this point of view. We see Antonez right there. Boy, it's tight. Look at how close they get to the hay bales right there. As you take a look at Kudrowski working that outside, trying to stay out of traffic, trying to stay in a clean line. You see Ryan Hughes is up in there, John Dowd off to the right. Look at Kudrowski, jumps that double up into the inside.
Meanwhile, out in front, Jeremy McGrath is extending his lead after the whole shot. This is just exactly what he had hoped for. He could have dreamt for a better start in a situation. You see Mike LaRocco, number 2. Hughes, number 9. He's off to a great start. Both are going to challenge Honda Hoop shortly. As we look from the Honda triple cam, and you see all the flash bulbs popping out there from the fans on the triple.
McGrath off to an early lead, just what he needs, and there's a look at LaRocco, and you know what, I think LaRocco, he's got to be sore. That bike wasn't the only thing twisted in that heat race crash.
They estimated they replaced about $12,000 to $15,000 worth of parts to get number 2 back on the track and running like this. Here he goes inside a Honda Hoop, moving into 4th place. Henry is in 3rd.
And check out Ryan Hughes, a pretty good start for him. You know, I've noticed in the 125 that he gets faster and faster as the race goes on, and this is a 20-lap main as opposed to the 15-lap 125 main.
Ryan Hughes making the move on Honda Hoop. What a pack right there. LaRocco, DeHoop, and Hughes. Hughes looks stronger on the 250s, Dave.
No, I think it fits his style a little bit better. You can't be quite as aggressive, and that's usually what gets him in trouble on the 125. He gets a little excited, makes mistakes. Here he's got to treat that bike with a little more respect. I think it suits him well.
Nice job on the whoops as he got by number 25, Todd DeHoop. DeHoop, after the good start, looks like he's got an anchor on the back wheel. It's Mike Kudrowski, number 7 right now, hopping by him.
Kudrowski looking good. He knows he's got to make his moves now or those leaders will be gone. And you see Larry Ward and Lamson. Those guys are buried in the pack. It's going to be tough for them to come from that far behind.
Lamson, number 5. Ward, number 11. Stalling on the corner. Michael Craig. Henry goes by. LaRocco goes by. There goes Hughes. Bad break for Craig.
You crash in those early laps and make mistakes, and you drop a lot of positions. Everyone's still bunched up. But Craig regrouping, trying to go back under Ryan. But Ryan jumping through that section nice, takes that position back.
Good momentum off that tabletop. And we've got Henry, number 4, LaRocco, number 2, and Ryan Hughes, number 9. Hughes is picking up on those two.
Meanwhile, Jeremy's gone. Business as usual out front. This is exactly what he needed to do.
Our Suzuki Field summary: McGrath, Henry, LaRocco, Hughes, Kudrowski, Craig, Lamson, and Ward in that order. Huffman in 14th. Back in Indianapolis, Jeremy McGrath, our leader, as Henry and LaRocco battling for second place. Henry, number 4. LaRocco cuts inside, but look out. Oh, he hits the hay bale. Another bad break for LaRocco. Hughes zips by LaRocco. Here comes Kudrowski, LaRocco's teammate. He's got a chance and gets the edge on him as we take a look at our leader now, Jeremy McGrath. McGrath is just simply trying to time it. He's running his own race right now.
Worry-free out front, nobody in his way to interrupt his momentum. We're going to take another look at what happened to LaRocco. His tensions were good. He squares off Henry. Looks like he's going to make the pass, gets a little sideways in that slick stuff, hits the hay bales. And I'll tell you what, he's got to be hurting after that heat race, and that takes a lot of energy to back it up, start the bike, and get going again. Plus, he dropped all those positions.
Ryan Hughes in 3rd, Kudrowski in 4th, and LaRocco now in 5th.
LaRocco can't buy a break tonight, and as he goes through these sections, he can glance over and see McGrath way out front, and that's the rider he's chasing for the title. It's got to pour salt in the wound.
Boy, LaRocco really skipping across those whoops very well as we take another look from our Honda triple cam.
He's on the move. He takes Kudrowski back. He seems to have regrouped. He has a lot of energy, but we're early in the race, and I have to look for him to tire after all that he's been through.
Skip Norfolk, Jeremy McGrath's mechanic looking on, concerned as McGrath just spinning away.
Look at the airtime McGrath gets to that section. That's very similar to what we saw in Minneapolis earlier in the season. He was jumping that entire section.
Hughes is now making a run on Henry for second place. Ryan Hughes, who opened the season on a 250 machine in Orlando, taking an impressive 6th place finish, is now making a bid for the podium.
Usually Ryan, when he rides the 250, doesn't get that good of a start. He's gotten a great start here tonight, and he's taken advantage of it. Jan Beekes is with his mechanic, Chad Watts.
Your biggest fan is right next door, Skip Norfolk. He's really rooting for Rhino because he wants him to take points away. But Rhino, you think he can hold on?
Yeah, I mean, if he keeps looking ahead and just worry about the race, he'll be fine. And me, Skip, Jeremy, and Ryan are all good friends, so we root for each other.
I haven't seen you this nervous for a long time. You're just shaking.
I'm nervous.
Chad sensing the excitement of their first podium on a 250, maybe, if number 9 can keep up this strong ride. Here out in front, the champion, Jeremy McGrath, and looking as smooth as ever.
We talked about how easy that Michael Pichon makes it look in the 125. Jeremy doing the same thing in the 250s. All these guys battling back here and still losing time to our leader, McGrath.
Henry, it appears that thumb must be bothering him because he's sliding backwards. Kudrowski, though, I don't want to take anything away from Mike Kudrowski, who's getting his timing better and is pulling up on Henry, number 4.
Well, his strategy of late has been to race the track, not the other riders, and it seems to be working. Something he should have been doing all year long, though.
After a second place in Atlanta, a win at Daytona, Kudrowski would like to jump up in that points race with a fine podium performance here.
Look at Henry, jumps that little double into the corner. You know, Henry's got a lot of little tricks around the racetrack, a lot of technique. He's got the speed, he's got the experience, he's won titles, and I think he's a guy that can win races. It's just surprising he hasn't been able to do that.
Number 4 and number 7 battling for 4th position in this race. If you've just tuned in, Jeremy McGrath is out in front, and Ryan Hughes is in second place. Here's Kudrowski making the challenge on Henry, cuts to the inside. Henry the momentum, though. Spurts by.
It was kind of weird by Henry to go wide like that and leave the door open, but he knew he was going to come out of the corner and jump the double and get the lead back.